The mean, median, unique mode, and range of a collection of 9 integers are all equal to 9. What is the largest integer that can be an element of this collection? Alright, well, if I knew what the 9 elements of this collection were, what I would probably want to do to find mean, median, and mode would be to list them in order. So I'm just going to write 9 blanks. Those will just be placeholders for the numbers, okay? And we'll assume that they're ordered from smallest to largest. So what do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there's 9 blanks. And if I have them ordered from smallest to largest, then the middle one is going to be the median, right? So this is the median, okay? And I know it's 9. All right. And we also know that the mode is 9. That means that the value that occurs most frequently must be 9. So we have to have at least 2 9s. So, and then we know that the mean is also 9. So we know that if we were to take the sum of these 9 values and divide by 9, we would get 9, right? So the sum of the numbers has to be 9 times 9, which is 81. Okay, so that'll help us out too. So, we also know that the range has to be 9. So if I take the first element to be A, then this biggest element has to be A plus 9. Okay, and we want this to be as large as possible, because that's what they ask us, is to find essentially the largest integer that can be an element of this set. So we want this to be as large as possible. Okay, so what does that mean? That tells us that the rest of the numbers have to be as small as possible, while still meeting all the other criteria of the mean, median, mode, and mode being 9 and so on. So, so we want all the rest of these to be as small as possible. Well, these numbers right here, they have to. I've got them ordered, right? Because I told you that when I wrote these down, I didn't know what they were, but I put them in order from smallest to largest. Okay, so these have to be greater than 9. So that means that the smaller are actually greater than or equal to 9, and the mode is 9. So these all, the smallest they can be is 9. Okay, and that'll give us, and we need to find the smallest ones in order for this number here to be the largest, as large as possible. Okay, so that'll help us out. All right, and then we don't know much about these other ones, but we want them to be as small as possible, right? So let's just call these A, B, C, and D. All right, so we also know the sum of these numbers. So if I take A plus B plus C plus D plus, okay, I've got 4 9s, right? So that's 36. But then I've got another 9 over here. So that's 45. So 45 plus A. That has to be equal to 81. Okay? So we end up with, okay, we have 2 A's. 2A plus B plus C plus D has to be equal to 81 minus 45, which is 36. Okay. All right, so, well, I want these to be as small as possible, but I want the sum to be 36. So, let's see here. What could we do? Well, I'm seeing essentially we have 5 values here. We have a B, C, and D, and then we have 2 A's. Okay, so if I took 36 and divide that by 5, that gives me 7 with remainder. So let's start with 7. Let's book with 7. That's sort of the average. So let's say the first one is 7. And okay, so we know the middle one's 9, 9, 9, 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. 9. And then we want the sum to be 81. Okay, um, so let's see, we've got 36 and 16. Oops, 36 and 16 is 52. So if I take that from 81, what do I get? I get 9, and then 29. So let's see how many 7s we can add. And then we want that the sum of these 4 numbers to be 29. So let's see. And we get 4 of them. Now 4 times 7 is 28. It's just a little too small. So I really would have to have 7, 7, 7, and then an 8 in order to get 29. Alright? And that ends up working. If I add up all these numbers, they give me, and then divide by 9, I get a mean of 9, I get a median of 9, I get a mode of 9, a unique mode in fact, and I get a range of 9. Okay, so this actually meets all the criteria. So we could test out 17 and see if we can get anything bigger than that. So let's say the biggest one was 17. Okay, now these would have to be 9, 9, 9, 9. Okay, there's our median. Now, in order to get a range of 9, then the lowest one would have to be, oops, 8. My pen is acting weird. And that would mean all these numbers have to be between 8 and 9. And if we have 4 8s, 4 8s is 32, that's not going to work, is it? And that's as low as we can get, because we need a range of 9, and so if we have 17, the lowest one has to be 9. And this is going to give us a sum that's too big, plus it doesn't have a unique mode. It's got 4 8s and 4 9s, and so it doesn't have a unique mode. So this doesn't work. Okay? So our answer is that the largest integer that can be an element of this set is 16. Okay, and this is what the set would look like when the biggest one is 16.